Good afternoon. I'm Delroy Lake, President of the Anguilla Hotel and Tourism Association. As we enter the new tourism season for 2013, Anguilla faces some challenges that can negatively impact the tourism season and the tourism economy on Anguilla. We are learning of new fees that will affect boat owners, boat operators, and tourists and locals alike as they travel through our ports. On October 15th, the Air and Seaport Authority instituted a $3 US security fee, and also a few other fees that some people may not know about, including touch fees for boats. And there is also a proposed overtime fee to be levied on boats who who come to the wharf anytime after 9 o'clock at night. The way this impacts Anguilla and the tourists is for the past 9 months, the tourism sector in Anguilla have worked hard and fought hard to try to get a late night shuttle to bring guests to Anguilla from St. Martin. Most of those would be arriving on the late flight out of Miami, which is a more affordable flight for most people coming to Anguilla. Presently, and I want to touch a little more on the overtime fees. Presently, those fees are expected to be $215 per hour per boat. So that means that if the Miami flight touched down in St. Martin at 9:50, as it will from a week after next, those people would not get to Anguilla before probably 11:30. And that is 2.5 hours of overtime. This is not a situation that allows our customers to want to come to Anguilla. And for the past 9 months, that fee was the Anguilla Tourist Board was the ones that paid that fee to, and I must say to the Customs and Air and Seaport Authority. That is not something that can be sustained. What we have seen for the past 9 months and already are beginning to see is that people that really want to come to Anguilla are actually ending up spending their first night in St. Martin, and on many occasions because they can't get back in time for that flight in the morning, which leaves at 8:30. They also spend their last night in St. Martin. Now, my concern is that, one, yes, the fees are very high and those need to be done away with. But if they are not done away with, my concern is that we are actually given more business to St. Martin. We are actually taking the business from Anguilla and giving it to St. Martin. That's 2 extra nights that could be in Anguilla that is actually spent into St. Martin. So let's look at what that does to our economy. All right, 2 nights in St. Martin that could be in Anguilla. That's 2 nights of room rate at whatever property you want to look at. Direct to government, that's 10% on each night that government loses. But the picture is a lot bigger than that, because it's how does it affect the economy. Each property that loses those 2 nights have employees. Those employees are scheduled based on occupancy. So basically, if your occupancy is low, all right, and that's 2 nights per person, per room, per week, that means that you may have to lay off or cut the hours of the staff, whether it's in the hotel, whether it's in the restaurant. That means also less spending power to the employee. The employee can no longer, in some cases, pay their bills. The employee cannot go to the supermarket and buy as much groceries as they would like, and the employee doesn't really have as much discretionary income as they would like. And we know that discretionary income, in my opinion, that's what boosts the economy. The fact that someone could go to a bar and have a few drinks because they have a little extra cash in their pocket. So that's one way that it affects the economy. The 2 nights that person is in St. Martin also means that the restaurants are losing a few meals. All right. Taxi drivers are also losing a few fares, taking people back and forth to restaurants. Car rentals are losing on car rental income. When a tourist is on Anguilla and they have a car, they go to the gas station. All right, and we know how high gasoline is in Anguilla. It's about 19 EC dollars per gallon. All right, they're not buying gasoline when they're in St. Martin. It also means that government is losing on duties. The restaurants are not buying as much food. It means that, government, again, Merchants Market is not bringing in as much. Tropical Flower is not bringing in as much. And thus, there's not as much duties going back to government. So there's an effect that not having that tourist in Anguilla for those 2 days has on the economy. And we just can't afford for that message to be out there that Anguilla is an expensive place to come to. I just had a conversation with a customer that's been coming to Anguilla for 10 years, and they say, Anguilla is getting more and more expensive. It's already expensive to fly to Anguilla. It's even more expensive. We are creating a situation where it's getting more and more expensive for our customers to get here. Anguilla must be seen as being open for business. Everything in Anguilla is affected by tourism. We have to find ways to encourage our tourists to come to Anguilla, not have them feel as though they are not welcome, because we have made it so difficult and so expensive for them to come here and spend their money. Just a few days ago, I heard the Chief Minister mention, and he said, Blowing Point Port is Anguilla's airport. All right? It is connected to the hub, which is St. Martin. And even though I feel we need to create more opportunities for the airport here in Anguilla, presently we need to keep encouraging and make it easy and affordable for people to enter via the seaport. As I talk about that part, I think I need to touch on access a bit, because there need to be more access into Anguilla. 89% of our people come through the seaport, but that's limited because when people fly into St. Martin, they're flying on a plane that has people coming to St. Martin, coming to St. Bart's, coming to Stacia, coming to Sabre, and also coming to Anguilla. We're competing on those flights for seats. So I think we've plateaued in terms of how many people can come to Anguilla. So we have to open opportunities, and therefore, I would like to see more access into the airport here in Anguilla. We know that there's so many flights into San Juan. from the mainland, from Europe, from South America. That's something that if we had access coming out of Puerto Rico, we could make a difference. There's also a few international flights coming into Antigua, St. Kitts. Those are also areas that we can work with. One of the things I would like to talk about briefly is our service levels on Anguilla. And I'm going to be very brief on this, but we need to make the service throughout the whole island 5-star. We talk about 5-star, a 5-star destination, but we need to have our frontline staff, that is, people that work on the boats, people that work on the docks, people that are in immigration and customs, security, etc. We need to have them giving a professional service to our guests. There's so many complaints that are happening nowadays about this service, and they're the first ones that our guests, not only the first, actually the first and the last people that our guests come into contact with. And we know that it's said, first memories or first impressions are lasting, and also last impressions are lasting. And we have to make sure that when our guests come to Anguilla, they leave satisfied. A satisfied customer goes back and only tells probably 3 or 4 people. Unfortunately, a dissatisfied customer goes back and tells the world. So basically, in Anguilla, tourism is the key to our success. Let's give it the respect and hard work it deserves.